So I put out a video the other day where I said Crow coin needs this, and I want to play you guys the clip that basically explained why Bitcoin might get a pump. And if Bitcoin gets that pump, you could probably see some upward price action for the CRO coin, which is what we're seeing today. Let me start the video with this clip and rehash out that conversation and talk about what comes next. But watch this clip real quick for me, guys. We need to see that going so that we can get Crow coin rallying. And whether you want to trade Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, or Crow, the whole thing depends on Bitcoin. And so, if this gold weakness can start to show, we have seen historically that Bitcoin likes to kind of do the opposite of what gold is doing. If gold starts to collapse, Bitcoin could start to really get rewarded for that. Again, gold was much higher yesterday. Gold is crashing today as I laid out in my video, but I want to show you guys this Crow video. Crow coin needs this. You can see the title of my video right up there at the top of the screen. Let me continue on with this clip where I get to Crow. But as that Bitcoin is showing weakness, we are actually seeing gold show some strength. So this topish kind of moment on this level of resistance for Bitcoin, I think, is because gold is taking new all-time highs. But all of a sudden, if that government shutdown gets reversed, well, then, possibly we can get this entire crypto market to move to the upside. Okay, so I mentioned in that video that if the government shutdown can end, then maybe we can see that gold start to collapse and Bitcoin start to pump, and then Crow coin start to get the move and crypto overall get that move. When I was alluding to the government shutdown ending, I was really focused on that gold crash because I think that gold's been rallying because there's been a government shutdown, lack of faith in the U.S. government. So gold's been rallying. And historically, when gold crashes, Bitcoin can pump. That's what happened. And Crow coin has also been coming up a little bit as well. So if you take a peek over at the Bitcoin chart, obviously, we've broken through a level of resistance. If you were just looking at the charts I was showing you in that video from yesterday, we are much higher than that. Gold is much lower and falling lower. From the time of that recording that I did literally yesterday, gold is down 6% right now and continuing to fall. And Crow coin is showing a little bit of green on the weekly candle, showing a little bit of a holding pattern. And that is because Bitcoin's coming up. Now, we have not seen the government shutdown end yet. That is something I talked about in that video. But we do have renewed optimism that government shutdown can end soon. Government shutdowns do not last forever. We can't have it last forever. At some point, it will end. And I believe that this gold crash is probably coming because we know that the government shutdown is probably going to end soon. Gold rallied like crazy and nothing goes straight up. So really a perfect catalyst as Bitcoin's booming to get this Crow coin pump. Let's hone in on Crow coin here. I want to talk a little bit more about it. We are in no man's land for CRO. I guess we're holding right around, these August of 2022 little hump that we have right here, kind of around this little bounce that we had back in September of 2021, floating around this random level of 15 cents, which wasn't really a level I thought we'd be hanging out at. I guess you can see that this weekly candle is lined up with the top of these weekly candles right here, basically perfectly in line right there with those. So that's why we're holding right there. We need to continue to hold this level, maybe bounce off of it and continue to the upside. I would really love to see, and let me just move this trend line because it seems to be like maybe this is the spot where it wants to settle, as you got a couple weekly candles that close right here. The top of this candle is right below it. We need to see this weekly candle close above this range for CRO. I think I'm going to move it up just a little bit so that it's flush with these weekly candle closes right there. You can see perfect right there. And this is right there. We need to see this weekly candle close a little bit above this. If we can get this weekly candle to close green, I think that Crow coin can make a nice attempt at getting back up to 20 cents, 37 cents. And if Bitcoin wants to break through to a new high and continue this crazy rally that we got going on right now, there's a chance, guys, that we could finally get the altcoin season we've been waiting for. Again, to my experience in crypto, what doesn't make sense to me is our crypto total market cap, excluding the top 10, not taking a new high. For that to not take a new high, right as we have altcoin ETFs coming into the US, we have the Fed that did the meeting about crypto innovation and crypto firms today. It wouldn't make any sense. I did see a comment the other day that I thought was very interesting over on X that I do actually want to share with you. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Crypto, but he's another crypto influencer, and he put out a short the other day that basically said altcoins are going to go to zero. And so this was his post, and it caught my attention. Altcoins to zero, hear me out. And what he makes as a point in this video is that we have so many altcoins now. And if you go back to 2016, 2017, the first bull market that I was a part of, where you could basically, like I've said before, put on a blindfold, take some darts, throw them at a dartboard, and whatever coin that those darts land on, you could probably make a 10x in crypto. That was 2016, 2017, because there was like 1,000 altcoins is the point that he makes in this video, which is a great point. Now, we're literally at a point where on CoinMarketCap, and I don't know why it doesn't show this anymore, but there are millions of cryptocurrencies. I mean, millions upon millions of cryptocurrencies, and I'm surprised that it's not actually showing that. But there are literally millions of cryptocurrencies. I think 19 million cryptocurrencies, and hundreds of thousands of them are created every single day, like on Solana alone. It's wild. And so the point that he makes in this video, which I think is important to understand, is not every altcoin is going to make it because there are simply too many altcoins coming into the market. Like the rate of altcoins getting created is so inflationary that the demand and the money flowing into altcoins can't keep up. Most altcoins, 99.9% of altcoins probably will go to zero. There are coins that came out that will never even really get the time of day. There are coins that came out that got the time of day and went to zero and will stay at zero because there's always a new shiny object in the room. And I agree with him that all coins will go to zero for the most part. But what I'm not telling you is that CRO is going to go to zero. I don't think CRO can go to zero unless Crypto.com, the company, files bankruptcy and fails and has some kind of FTX moment, which with the regulatory hurdles that they have jumped across and the regulatory licensing that they've gotten in place after they created the exchange, I think the Crypto.com is going to be around for a long time. I think the Cronos chain is going to be around for a long time. And I don't think you can put Cronos into that altcoin basket of coins that are going to go to zero. Cronos is one of the very exclusive coins that's getting its own ETF. I think it's fair to say that any of these altcoins that are getting their own ETFs are being vetted by institutions to say, okay, these altcoins aren't going to zero. So I remain very optimistic for the CRO token. I remain very optimistic for the crypto industry as a whole, but let me be very clear. Just because gold is dipping today doesn't mean that it's going to crash and keep crashing. Gold could find a recovery. Even if the government shutdown ends, you could still see a recovery. If the government shutdown actually ends, I think we'll see a continued dip for gold. But right now with gold crashing, Bitcoin pumping, that's exactly what we talked about the other day. So we're seeing a little strength for CRO. I'd like to see it hold above this level, get this weekly candle closed throughout the rest of this week. I'd like to see Bitcoin stay afloat, get a little bit higher, raise up the tide for all coins, and get that blow off top that we've all been waiting for. I still believe bear markets exist for crypto, but I don't want it to happen yet. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what your thoughts are on this video. I wanted to share that CRO coin update with you guys, what we need to get higher prices for that coin, in my personal opinion. If you guys want to trade the volatility of these markets, by the way, you can sign up for BTCC. Right now, I am in a Solana trade. I like to trade that coin in particular a lot, along with Bitcoin, Ethereum. CRO coin is something you can trade over on BTCC. Currently in a Solana long with my stop loss set, ready to go, just in case this thing starts to come back down. But I am leaning bullish right now. If you guys want to sign up for BTCC on your own, there is a sign up link that'll take you to this landing page in the description of this video, where it's super easy to sign up. Take advantage of the 10% deposit bonus over there. And in the description of the video, you will see a sign up link just down below. I have it pinned in the comments section as well. So that's all I have, guys. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. DCA, hold on, my friends. I got 2 videos for you right here if you want to check them out. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one, y'all. Peace.